Good evening, everyone. Thank you to everyone for attending tonight's meeting at the San Bruno Community Foundation's Board of Directors. We are back in person at the San Bruno Senior Center, and we welcome members of the public who are attending via Zoom. We appreciate your patience if we have any technical hiccups. We ask speakers to speak loudly and clearly so that the microphones pick you up and our online guests, as well as everyone in the room, can hear you. A couple of technical items before we get to the content of tonight's meeting. Please know that we want to hear from you, members of the public who are here at the Senior Center in person. If you would like to speak during public comment for items within the jurisdiction of the board that are not on the agenda or on any of our agendized items, please fill out one of the speaker cards that is at the table near the door. If you are attending on Zoom and you would like to address the board during public comment for items not on the agenda or on any of the agendized items, please use the raise your hand button at the bottom of the Zoom screen. Once you raise your hand, the executive director will see that someone wants to talk and she will let me know that you are waiting. When it is your turn to speak, the executive director will call your name and unmute you. If you are joining us by telephone, you may also address the board during public comment by pressing *9, and the executive director will address you and unmute you. Speakers will be given 3 minutes to address the board. Please note that the individuals may only speak once per agendized item. Also, if we received any emails from the public on any agenda item, okay. Let's begin the meeting. I now call regular meeting of the San Bruno Community Foundation's Board of Directors on December 6, 2023 to order. Unfortunately, board member Supriya Perry is not able to attend in person tonight. She needs to stay home to care for her children. She has notified us that she will be attending remotely for just cause due to the childcare need. Legal counsel Heather Minner has confirmed that board member Perry may do so under our new Brown Act meeting provisions, provided a quorum of the board attends in person. Given that I see that 4 board members are here in person tonight, board member Perry may attend remotely. Board member Perry, as required by the Brown Act, could you please let us know if there's anyone 18 years of age or older in the room with you, and if so, your relationship with them?
There is not. Are you able to hear me?
I can't hear her. Can you unmute? She unmuted? Yes.
Can you hear me now?
If you can hear me, board member Perry, we're trying to work it out.
Can you hear me now or no?
Say something and see if it works now.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Thumbs up.
Unfortunately, I can't hear you. I switched microphones to my computer as opposed to my earbuds, and I can apparently you can hear me, but I can't hear you. There is nobody 18 years or older in the home or in this location with me now.
Can you hear me, Supriya?
Can you hear me? Great, I can hear you. Wonderful. Thank you.
Okay. Is that sufficient? Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Okay. I hope everyone had a safe and peaceful Thanksgiving holiday. And we have a full agenda tonight, and there's so many great people in the room. So let's get to it. I'll turn it over to item number 2, roll call. Secretary Gomez, please do the roll call.
Absolutely. Excuse me. Board member Belinda Wong.
Present.
Board Member Irving Torres. Present. Board Member Cypria Perry.
Present.
Treasurer Pat Lynn is excused. Secretary Raul Gomez is here. Vice President Jim Ruane. Here. President Melissa Natani Jones.
Here.
All accounted for.
Thank you. Item number 3, public comment. Would any members of the public like to address the board on a topic that is within the jurisdiction of the board but is not on the agenda? For those on Zoom, please indicate so by using the raise hand button at the bottom of your Zoom screen.
I do not see any on Zoom.
Okay, great, thank you. Item number 4, approval of minutes, November 1st, 2023, regular special board meeting, Secretary Gomez.
Thank you. So in your meeting packet tonight, you will see minutes from our November 1st, 2023 regular special board meeting. Do board members have any comments?
Yeah. Any questions? Any questions from the public? Okay, if there are no questions or comments, may I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Great, I'll turn it over to Secretary Gomez for roll call.
Thank you again. Board Member Belinda Wong.
Aye.
Board Member Irving Torres. Aye. Board Member Cypria Perry.
Aye.
Treasurer Pat Lynn is excused. Raul Gomez is an aye. Vice President Jim Ruane.
Aye.
President Melissa Natani Jones.
Aye,
All ayes.
thank you. Item number 4, Executive Director's Report. I'll turn it over to Leslie.
Thank you and happy holidays to everybody with us tonight. The packet contains my executive director's report, and because we have a very full agenda, I'm just going to keep it brief for my oral presentation. Just want to let you know, we have renewed our contract with our accounting consultant, Frank Bittner, starting December 1st. He has done an outstanding job for the past 8 years for the foundation, and we are thrilled to keep him on. Other than changing the dates, all other aspects of this contract remain the same. Also, just want to let you know that we did file our state and federal tax returns by the November 15th deadline, with the help of our accounting firm, Novogradac and Company. So those are all done. That's all I have for tonight. You'll see all the other work I've been doing for the past month. See it as the meeting goes on.
Are there any questions from the board? Any questions from the public? Okay, we'll move on. Item number 6, consent calendar. We have 2 items on the consent calendar today as listed on the agenda. Would any members of the public like to comment on any of the consent items? Nothing on Zoom?
No.
Okay. Any questions from the board? Okay, unless there are any questions from the board, I call for a motion to adopt the consent calendar.
So moved.
Second.
Great. I'll turn it over to Secretary Gomez for roll call.
Thank you. Board Member Belinda Wong.
Aye.
Board Member Irving Torres.
Aye.
Board Member Cypria Perry.
Aye.
Treasurer Pat Lynn is excused. Secretary Raul Gomez is an aye. Vice President Jim Ruane.
Aye.
President Melissa Natani Jones.
Aye.
All ayes.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to item number 7, conduct of business. Our first item is receive recommendation from Community Grants Fund Review Panel and adopt resolutions awarding 2023-2024 community grants totaling $300,000. To those of you who are here this evening representing organizations that are being recommended for a grant, if you would like to address the board, we will be calling for comments after the agenda item has been presented. Before asking Leslie and Jessica to introduce this agenda item, I would like to recognize some of the dignitaries who are present tonight to hear any of the community boards. Certainly San Bruno Mayor Rico Medina is here tonight. Welcome, Mayor, and thank you for joining us. On behalf of the board, I would also like to thank YouTube and Google.org for their support of the Community Grants Program. This year, the 7th consecutive year, YouTube and Google.org have contributed $100,000 to the Community Grants Fund and enabled us to increase our grant making by 50%. And we're so grateful for their support. They are true community partners. The Foundation's Community Grants Program is a highlight of the Foundation because these funds touch so many different sectors of our community and enable such important work with tangible impacts that enhance lives in our community in the process. These grants will make a meaningful difference in our community. I believe our Mayor Rico Medina would like to say a few words, and I'd like to give him the opportunity to do so at this time.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you very much for the opportunity to be here and being asked. This is important to me as, and I'm just going to use first names, Jim. So to Jim and I, that it goes back a long time that a disastrous situation happened in our community. And it was a time that could have brought a community and fell apart, but in essence, it came together. It had its courage and resilience that built back a neighborhood and continued on for our future of the city of San Bruno. And in that, this foundation was formed with a settlement. And that was fought on and fought for by the leadership then. And here we are today. And what I enjoy when we have the scholarships and the grants is to come. And on the grant element, as we well know, and I have gone through all of those that are receiving tonight and what they do, what they contribute, and how they help. Whether it's in the fields or in healthcare or mental health, it is a facet of opportunity that is afforded thanks to the foundation and thanks to YouTube. And together as a collaboration, and they have continued to give to this cause, it allows even more organizations to be helped, which in essence, in turn, helps the people of this community. So as Jim would say, and I often use it, is something good has to come out of this. And down the street from here, mid next year, you'll hear more about that tonight. We'll have a beautiful recreation aquatic center. It's not how we got it, but it's about what we're going to do with it in this community and how we're going to make it better, long lasting, as well as it showing that something good out of this. And to the folks behind me, I don't mean to have my back to you. I want to thank you for the work that you do and the folks that you serve each and every day. Not only in our community, but obviously throughout other aspects, organizations, the county, etc. It is these times that people look to these services. And I can tell you, as we are obviously in the holiday season, I always remind people that people are in need year round, but even during the holiday seasons, it's a time that we must stand with each other. Take that moment, contact somebody you haven't in a while. Don't be afraid to ask that person, are you okay? How you doing? Because you may be surprised, as I was a few months ago when I asked a good friend, and the answer was no. So it reminds us, as all those that will receive these grants, that we have to look out for one another, as San Bruno has done since that fateful night. So as I stand here before you as a proud elected mayor of this city, and to see where Jim and I stood that night and what has come forward to this moment and what will continue into next year. I am honored, I'm blessed, and I wish everyone here, I wish all the groups and the organization and what you do and who you serve and how you help a very happy, healthy, blessed holiday season, and wish everyone the very best in the new year. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor Medina. Leslie, please share with us the recommendations from the review panel.
Okay, I am happy to present to the board the recommendations of the Community Grants Fund Review Panel. This is a very exciting moment for the foundation, as it is every year. And this is our 8th year where the foundation will share some of the restitution funds that we received with local community organizations that are the lifeblood of San Bruno. As you know, we launched this cycle of the Community Grants Fund in July with the September 20th application deadline. This responsive grant making program allows community groups to receive grant funding of up to $25,000 projects that benefit the San Bruno community. By the deadline, we received 48 applications requesting a total of more than $850,000. After an initial review, one application was deemed incomplete and 2 were deemed ineligible applicants. As a result, 45 applications were passed on to a volunteer review panel made up of 13 community members and individuals with grant making and nonprofit experience. The review panel evaluated the applications based on 5 established program criteria, most important of which is the benefits of the proposed project to the San Bruno community. Based on its evaluation and deliberations, the panel is recommending that the board approve grant awards totaling $300,000 for 26 programs that it concluded sufficiently satisfied the 5 criteria. The 26 programs serve a broad cross-section of the San Bruno community, including low-income families, youth, students, seniors, and the unhoused. Recommended grant awards range from $5,000 to $25,000. 10 of the grants are for at least $15,000. 16 of the recommended grant awards are for specific programs that have also received community grant funding in previous cycles. 4 programs are receiving funding for the 3rd consecutive year and therefore will not be eligible for funding next year. The competition was stiff this year with many strong applications and requests totaling nearly 3 times the available funding. In order to ensure that a broad assortment of programs serving diverse cross-sections of the community would be funded, most of the recommended grant awards are for less than the amount requested by the applying organization. And in the end, the review panel declined to recommend 19 applications for funding. In some cases, the panel found the programs to be worthwhile, but the proposals were not found to be quite as compelling based on the 5 criteria as those being recommended for funding. Others did not make a strong enough case for need in or benefit to the San Bruno community. They failed to provide sufficient details and supporting documentation. They failed to clearly explain how the funds would be used, or they raised questions about the organization's ability to successfully implement the program. When the packet for this meeting was posted, Program Manager Jessica Carrillo notified all applicants of the review panel's recommendations with respect to their specific application. For those not being recommended for funding, we offered a phone call to explain the review panel's reasoning and provide feedback that could be helpful should the organization choose to apply for funding in a future cycle. Some of the organizations have taken us up on that offer, and we will be providing feedback to them. We will have the board tonight consider and approve the grants in 3 groups, as 2 board members have chosen to recuse themselves from particular grant recommendations. The first group includes 23 programs totaling $273,000. I'm going to quickly go through all 23 grants. They are to the American Association of University Women North Peninsula California chapter to enable 4 San Bruno middle school students to attend a Truck Tech Science and Math Summer Camp for girls at a local university for $5,000. Art in Action will receive $12,000 to deliver visual arts education curriculum at San Bruno Park School District elementary schools. Cost of San Mateo County is being recommended for $15,000 to support San Bruno children in foster care and or the juvenile justice system by pairing them with trained community volunteers who provide them with one-on-one support, mentoring, and advocacy. We're recommending $10,000 to the Catalino Tapia Scholarship Foundation to provide comprehensive support to first-generation college students by offering scholarships, mentorship, workshops, and stipends. There will be $6,000 recommended for the City of South San Francisco's Project Read through its library, provide literacy programs and other social services to low-income San Bruno parents and their children through Learning Wheels Project Read the Literacy Van. $25,000 to CORE, a community overcoming relationship abuse, to provide San Bruno victims and survivors of domestic violence with 24-hour access to crisis intervention services. $12,500 to each Green Coroner, to empower students to address food insecurity and climate readiness through sustainable urban agriculture and the Food Explorers curriculum by supporting the garden outdoor classroom complex at Portola Elementary School. $705,000 to Junior Achievement in Northern California to provide financial literacy, workforce readiness, and entrepreneurship programming at Cappuccino High School for high school students through the Inspiring Economic Empowerment Program. $10,000 to the Legal Aid Society of San Mateo County to provide legal assistance to San Bruno residents facing eviction or living in substandard convictions with the goal of keeping them in their homes, preventing homelessness through enforcement of legal rights, and remedying inadequate living conditions through advocacy. $12,500 to Life Moves to support unsheltered San Bruno residents, address their behavioral health and medical needs, and provide individualized case management through the homeless outreach team. $6,000 to the Low-End Soccer Club to provide economically disadvantaged San Bruno youth the opportunity to participate on competitive soccer club teams through Low-End Scholarship Program. $20,000 to the Mindful Life Project to provide mental health and wellness support through comprehensive in-person, full-time, mindfulness-based social and emotional learning programming at Bel Air and Allen Elementary Schools. $5,000 to Mission Hospice and Home Care to offer free monthly drop-in grief support for community members at the San Bruno Senior Center. $15,000 to Music for Minors to provide standards-based in-school music education to transitional kindergarten and second grade students at San Bruno Park School. $5,000 to PARCA, Partners and Advocates for Remarkable Children and Adults, to offer advocacy, family support groups, information and referral, parent education, inclusive recreation opportunities, and community outreach to San Bruno families with developmentally disabled members. $12,500 to the Renaissance Entrepreneurship Center to coordinate a series of activation events in downtown San Bruno involving local businesses, community vendors, and performing artists to promote and celebrate San Bruno small businesses. $15,000 to San Bruno Community Gardens to bolster and sustain San Bruno's community-enhancing community garden by investing in capital improvements, including a new irrigation system. $16,500 to the San Bruno Education Foundation to establish a scholarship program to enable socioeconomically disadvantaged eighth graders to experience U.S. history firsthand and participate in Parkside's annual trip to Washington, D.C. and Williamsburg, Virginia. $15,000 to the San Mateo County Community College District to support Skyline College students conducting hands-on community project aimed at attracting new customers to San Bruno businesses through the Accelerate Fellowship Program by planning a series of pop-up events to help rebrand downtown San Bruno and assisting business owners in forming a new association and communication network to further activate and mobilize the downtown area. $15,000 to the San Mateo Union High School District to expand Cappuccino High School's Summer Bridge program for incoming ninth graders, allowing for greater interpersonal connections and enhanced social and emotional learning opportunities for students and faculty. $15,000 to Sonrisa's Dental Health to improve health equity in San Mateo County by removing systemic barriers to care, providing prevention education, and increasing dental utilization for adult residents of San Bruno. $10,000 to Star Vista to provide school-based mental health education presentations covering such topics as depression, anxiety, coping skills, stress, help syncing, and suicide prevention to reduce stigma and increase access for care for San Bruno high school students. And $7,500 to Upward Scholars to provide financial assistance, academic support, career development opportunities, and mental health support to San Bruno adult immigrants enrolled in community college. Those 23 grants will be approved in the first resolution. The second resolution covers 2 grants to the San Bruno Lions Foundation totaling $12,000. one for $7,000 to distribute holiday food baskets to San Bruno families in need through the San Bruno Public Schools, and a second for $5,000 to provide a special winter holiday experience for special education students and teachers at El Portal School in San Bruno. The third resolution is for one grant in the amount of $15,000 to Second Harvest of Silicon Valley for its food distribution efforts in San Bruno. I want to thank the members of the review panel who spent countless hours reading and evaluating the application. They took their duties very seriously and deliberated thoughtfully and diligently to come to agreement on the recommended grant awards. I also want to thank Jessica again for all her hard work in making sure that this program ran smoothly this year. We'd now like to give the representatives of the recommended grantee organizations the opportunity to address the board. Due to the large number of organizations, we're going to ask that only one person speak per organization, and you'll each have up to 3 minutes to speak. I have a timer going on the screen. I think what we're going to ask is to keep it moving, maybe have individuals line up against that wall and then come up one at a time to the podium and speak. So if the first person wants to be brave and head up there, we will start. All right, Peter, why don't you go first? We've got a couple on Zoom. We're going to do the people who are live first, and then we'll get to those of you who are on Zoom.
Hi, I'm Peter Sherman. I'm the treasurer for the San Bruno Community Garden. People who are not here are Gus Sinks and Sydney Sinks, who are also in the community garden, president and secretary. They're on vacation, so you're gonna have to listen to me instead today. This is our first time applying for any kind of grant with San Bruno Community Garden. And as we're a totally volunteer organization, and as you heard, this is a capital improvement project for the community garden. Our garden is made up of 70 individuals from the San Bruno community. We represent a very diverse cross-section of our very diverse community in San Bruno. There are people from the United States, from Mexico, Armenia, Italy, Laos, Pacific Islander as well. But we're also mixed socioeconomically as well. And I think that's really how we're very special as well. We have IT professionals working next to landscapers, retirees, MBAs, and we all mix and socialize next to each other, and we get to know each other really well that way. And we all take advantage of our very unique climate here in San Bruno. It's really nice. And if you haven't been there yet, by the way, this goes to everybody, we're right next to Lions Field. So if you haven't checked out the community garden, nobody knows where it is. I put it on Google Maps so you can find it now. So please do come check it out at any time of day, especially weekend. There are lots of people there. They'll give you some carne asada. They're always barbecue. The garden, it really is a lifeline for the community, especially during COVID. It was a place for people to go, socialize, and be outside. I don't like to say socially distanced because we're very socially close there, but physically we're outside and distanced that way. It also allows people to supplement their family's nutrition as well, with different foods that are locally grown and organic that you really can't find in the stores here as well. There are lots of people who grow lots of East Asian or Southeast Asian vegetables there that you can't find anywhere else. There's different types of corn that are from Mexico that I've never heard of that are grown all over the place, and they make it into tortillas and just fresh corn and stuff. It's really cool. And these weird squash looking things like coyote, I think it's called. We also offer garden boxes to the 4-H. The 4-H is right next door to us. They have a garden box there in the community, and we interact a lot with them. And so it offers them an opportunity to learn about gardening, learn about our world, science, the environment, but also really about like long-term planning, which is something I think you don't get a lot of this day and age. It's very long-term mindset and planting a seed in the ground and waiting for 4 or 5 months for something to come out of it. That's very difficult for kids who get this immediate output from like their iPads. We've been around for 20 years at our current location, and our irrigation system, which we installed, is very old. This is really helpful with the San Bruno Community Foundation to help us with this grant. Otherwise, we would have to raise our rates for everybody, and we would really make it unaffordable for a lot of people within the organization. And we'd never be able to really recover from that. So this is a one-time thing. We're gonna have a lot of people volunteering, and again, this allows us to continue operating for the next 20 years. And so I really thank the SBCF, Google, YouTube. Also a special shout out to Jessica. Thank you so much for answering my emails as well. Really appreciate everybody here. Thank you.
I was wondering when they're gonna go away. Or maybe it was a prop, I don't know. Oh, thank you all so much for, sorry.
There you go.
Thank you all so much for, the opportunity to come and talk to you tonight about a very important program in our community. I'm Patricia Narciso, and I'm the Development Director for Upward Scholars. Am I speaking into this? First of all, I want to say we're so grateful for the support that we've received from you the last few years. Upward Scholars is unique. We're unique because we invest in the education and success of adult immigrant students in community colleges. No other organization focuses on investing in the success of this population. Upward Scholars makes it possible for adult immigrant students to reach their academic and career goals, to improve their careers and their livelihood for themselves and their families, and to serve as a role model and inspiration to their own children about the power of education. In San Bruno, we're currently serving 65 students. 63 are students at Skyline College, and 2 of them live in San Bruno and attend other community colleges. Upward Scholars provides free computers, course materials, and textbooks to help financially. We also offer tutoring and conversation opportunities to build language skills to help academically. We provide coaching and a variety of training programs for people on different career paths, including a new early childhood education program that nurtures childcare providers, and an entrepreneurship program that provides support for people who want to start their own small business or who have their own small business. We also provide mental health services, counseling, and grief support, and other holistic services in order to really wrap around each of those students for whatever needs that they have. So we do all these things by meeting students where they are, respectful of their lives and struggles as parents, as breadwinners, and as members of the community. We do whatever it takes to support each student on their next step towards success. Tonight, with your support, you provide adult immigrant students with accompaniment, encouragement, and hope along their education and career path. Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lynette. Sorry. Hello, my name is Lynette. I am the program lead for our homeless outreach team at Life Moves. So just to give a little bit of background of what we do at Life Moves. So I'm part of the homeless outreach team. We are a team of 12. We conduct daily outreach to the hardest to reach individuals out in the community. We go out to encampments, under tunnels, under bridges, in the freeways. We connect with people who are currently experiencing being unsheltered. The goal for us is to support clients overcoming barriers to housing and support with rejoining society. Our mission is to provide interim housing, supportive services, and continue to build collaboration in the partnerships that we build in the community. One of our biggest success here in San Bruno, is that we have collaborated with law enforcement, which has prompted other cities to want to join our mission and join Life Moves. We have 2 case managers who are currently serving the city of San Bruno. One is funded through the, police funded outreach. So we collaborate a lot with our law enforcement. We also collaborate with, our churches. One specifically is Dan Bruno's church, which also allows us to, meet clients there, as well as connect with our healthcare team, who has a mobile healthcare van and provide services to our unsheltered individuals, out in the community. So I'm very happy to be here, and thank you for the continuous support that the city of San Bruno has given to Life Move, and we appreciate you. Thank you. Hi, my name is Celeste Mercado, and I'm the manager of Crisis Support Services with the agency of Cora. As some of you might know, Cora has been in part of the community for the last 46 years. So I want to thank everybody for taking our application in consideration. I've been with the agency for 15 years, and we've definitely had our ups and downs, right, in supporting the community, definitely during COVID and this year. As some of you know, this year we had unfortunately 5 homicides, victims of domestic violence. And our learning from there is, when speaking to the families, and one of the things they all have mentioned is that they were not aware that we are here, right, to provide support. And that's very unfortunate, right? We try our best to engage. So with the support and what we do here at the Crisis Center is to provide that crisis intervention. We collaborate with law enforcement, and we have our 24 hotline and try to really be there for victims and survivors of domestic violence, right? To provide support and wraparound services. All of our services are free and confidential. And we have support from housing, legal, mental health services, children's services. We have this last fiscal year, we helped about 115 clients from San Bruno with wraparound services. Some of them are reaching to us through our hotline, others are referrals from law enforcement. We work closely with San Bruno Police Department to provide that education, resources, and for officers to let victims know that we're here to provide support. It's not easy, right? As one of the only DV agencies in our county, we're doing our best to provide the support and the resources out there for them. So once again, really thank you for this consideration, and we're here to continue providing the support. Thank you.
Good evening, my name is Sonia Wogemuth. I'm the CEO of Music for Minors. And you only gave me 3 minutes, so don't worry, I'm not gonna make you do any musical activities. So y'all are afraid there for a minute. First, I just wanna say thank you. This is now our 2nd year of you funding our work, and we are immensely grateful. You're supporting what is now a 7-year partnership that we have had with the district. We commit at least 50% of our services in underfunded communities. So grants like this are vitally important for us and to keep our costs low to the communities. We've been serving over our 7-year partnership about 9,000 kids total. And so that has a reverberation into the community. Last year and this year, it's about 15,000 kids. And Jessica has 2 kids in our program. We'll just talk about that. Our programs provide the solid foundation for kids progressing into the secondary music education programs. And for so many kids, this is their only access to music education. So again, so important to have these types of partnerships. The other things that we support are overall academic achievement, social, emotional, and general well-being. And it's just a lot of fun for kids. They need that during the school day. I wanted to share with you just a few points. We do satisfaction surveys with our classroom teachers every year. And so based on last year that you helped fund, classroom teachers from San Bruno said over 95% of them said that Music for Minors teachers are effective and engaging when teaching music to students, and they want them to be able to continue. So thank you again for the funding. Over 60% of them want the programs to expand. Longer weeks, more instructional weeks, things like that, more minutes of service. So we'll be applying again next year. You can count on that.
The last thing that I want to share with you, which is very exciting and probably why we also really cherish and love Google and YouTube, is that we are now four years into a partnership that we have with the Googler Orchestra. And I'm not sure if many people know that Google has an orchestra, and they're quite phenomenal. We are now hosting annual benefit concerts. We had one last year down at Gunn High School, and we had over 500 community members. We gave tickets free to parents and families. We just confirmed today that on April 28th, this year's concert will be held at Cappuccino High School. So right here in your community. Yeah. So you'll be getting more information about that. We're very excited. Also, the conductor of the orchestra is an employee at YouTube. So a lot of connections here in the community and with those who are really supporting the foundation. So again, I just wanted to thank you again for the support, all of your work, for the various communities, for music providers, for believing in the work that we do and how vital it is for kids, and for everyone else that you're supporting tonight. Thank you very much.
Good evening. Hi, how are you? My name is Heather Small. I'm with Junior Achievement of Northern California. And it's a pleasure to be included in this community. And that's really what I want to share with you. I will share a little bit about Junior Achievement, but you've read our application and you've chosen to honor us again with including us in your portfolio. We are a prior grantee, so we feel very honored about that. So to all of the board trustees and to the foundation, Junior Achievement has been around for 100 years, and its mission has always been to prepare students for the world of work through financial literacy, entrepreneurship. Students learn how to start their own business. They do that in high school. They don't have to wait to get an MBA to do that, and through workforce readiness. We do that in partnership with the school districts, and at Cappuccino High School, we have a strong relationship. And even last week, I'll share with you a story. I had the pleasure of being able to go on a job shadow at Franklin Templeton with your Cappuccino High School students, and it was really mind-blowing, I'll be honest. And when we do that, you know, you expect that they get to hear from the bond portfolio manager and they get to see all the fancy digital assets, but they also get to hear from the brand new employee who is an intern and is wide-eyed and scared and doesn't know, you know, what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks. And they get to hear from the executive assistants, and they get to hear from the receptionist. So we give them a wide range of exposure to all the different kinds of jobs. We went into the TV studio, so they see the, you know, the technical jobs, and we talk about trades. We don't talk just about four-year college. We talk about a lot of different alternatives. So it's truly a partnership between the schools who set our priorities on their priorities. The teachers pick the classes, and then we bring in the business partners and the community volunteers from San Bruno to meet the needs where the students are. So we've been doing this for a long time, and we, with your help, will be able to do it for even longer. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Hello, Madam President, Mr. Vice President, members of the board. My name is Amanda Anthony, and I am the San Mateo County Program Director for Renaissance Entrepreneurship Center. Renaissance Entrepreneurship Center has been working in the Bay for 38 years, but really only started working in North County with a meaningful lens in 2021 during the pandemic. And I came to know the San Bruno community and your foundation because you guys supported the small business grants that were given out to a lot of small businesses in San Bruno's downtown and other parts, but particularly downtown. What we heard in those grant programs is that it was really helpful that businesses were at first reluctant to learn, but they were grateful for the funds and they were also grateful for the learning. What we see now from conversations with community members who are in line and other organizations that we work with is that the recovery is still in process, right? That our businesses are still struggling. And what Renaissance does is we help them recover. Our business has always been focused on startups, and it's figuring out how to help people start businesses that are sustainable and can bring wealth building to a lower income profile of client. What we have started to do more is work with established businesses, and that came out of our pandemic work. We realized our established businesses sometimes need a refresh on skills, right? They sometimes need a different way of getting people to come down. We hear that, oh, the clients that I used to have before the pandemic, they're not here anymore. Who are my new clients? And so our proposal was to activate downtown through a series of events that we are definitely hoping to do with our partner, the Bay Area Entrepreneur Center. We know that they are doing a lot of work. We know that the Lions Club does some work too. But I think that the more we can work together to activate downtown and bring liveliness, bring live music. We just had a pop-up in South San Francisco, Renaissance organized one, and we had live music on our breezeway right downtown, and it was so vibrant. And we're really excited to be able to do that in San Bruno. So thank you so much for the consideration. We are really excited about what this can bring, and thank you so much for your time.
Hello, everyone. My name is Heather Latta, and I'm the president of the San Bruno Education Foundation. It's nice to see you again since I was here last month. And that just shows as a tribute to how much you all support the schools, which I deeply appreciate. As you know, the San Bruno Education Foundation, our whole purpose is to support the students and teachers of San Bruno. And the Community Foundation has deeply supported that, in particular with music. Also in the past with art and STEAM, but this year for our community grant, we are supporting a new area for our students that I want to talk to you about. And that's what Leslie mentioned earlier. For over 2 decades, Parkside Intermediate has offered a 5-day, 4-night trip to Washington, DC and Williamsburg, Virginia for its 8th grade students. But at a price of over $3,000, that trip has not been accessible to many of the students in our community. But we wanted to make it so. This trip is really a valuable life and educational opportunity to an education base, be able to have the students learn about US history, about government. They are able to visit some of our nation's most iconic landmarks like Capitol Hill, the Washington Mall, and the memorials there, Mount Vernon, Colonial Williamsburg. And we wanted this to be available for everyone. And I'm really happy to say that we had already 9 students who would not have been able to go otherwise who applied, and we're now going to be able to give them scholarships with a combination of this grant, if you approve it tonight, as well as additional funds from our foundation working together. We're going to be able to fund all of those trips for all of those students. And I'm just really happy that they're going to be able to have the opportunity to participate both for the educational purposes, but then also really for the independence that they'll feel getting to go out on this trip with their peers and not their families, and the strong bonds that they'll be able to build with their fellow students and teachers. So thank you so much for your consideration and your continued support for the students of San Bruno.
Good evening. My name is Juan Pitt Santaluga. I'm the grants manager at CASA of San Mateo County. CASA stands for Court Appointed Special Advocates, and we recruit, train, and oversee community volunteers and pair them with children in the foster care and juvenile justice system. This is the foundation's 3rd year of support for our program, and we're very grateful for that and very honored to be with these other organizations that are very worthy as well. Your support has allowed us to provide our core programming to our children and youth here, and that includes 30 hours of training for each of our volunteers who are mentoring and advocating for the children to ensure their safety, their well-being, and to make sure that there aren't any gaps in services. We are appointed through the courts, and so as part of that, our volunteers file regularly reports with the court to let them know how the children are doing. They make recommendations, and our volunteers meet one-on-one with their children once a week. Children in the foster care and juvenile justice system have social workers, probation officers, attorneys, and judges overseeing their cases. In all cases, they're overseeing many cases at a time. Our volunteers are paired one-on-one with the youth so that they can focus on their well-being and most importantly, establish stability and a sense of security for them during a very tumultuous time in their lives. This past year, we've really noticed an uptick in the need for health, mental health services, as well as assistance with youth who are in a transitional age where they've been in the system long enough that they face the prospect of exiting the system without having any support. We've also noticed that there's been a number of cases for especially very young children, ages 0 to 2. And so our program has been really focused on those populations. In San Bruno, we have approximately 13 youth that we aim to serve every year out of our caseload. We've reached that number and are at 18 so far this calendar year. That includes children who are in San Bruno and may have been placed elsewhere in the county or have been placed in the county because of foster families in this community. And so we thank you for supporting them. I wanted to read, actually, I don't know if I have a whole lot of time, but just illustrate for you some of the work that our volunteers can do. One of our volunteers worked recently with a child who, after experiencing gang-related violence in his home country of Brazil, moved to the US at 13, only to be physically abused at the hands of his father. Our volunteer was able to help him during his pivotal time in high school during COVID when he was attending high school via Zoom and was very lonely. She helped him get through college and helped facilitate some immigration issues that he was having. And as a result, he is now attending college and studying to become a business major. Thank you very much.
Hi, everyone. My name is Natalie Reed, and I'm the Family Literacy Services Coordinator at the South San Francisco Public Library. I work with the Learning Wheels on the Road to Success program. And I want to start by saying thank you so much for your consideration of our program and your support. Learning Wheels has been serving the San Bruno community for several years. This year, we partnered with the Children's Day event at San Bruno Park, where we served over 300 families by providing free books to them, as well as information on services that connect them to their community. We've also been partnering with St. Bruno's Church, where we bring our bookmobile to the church each week and provide free books and information as well. We're also currently collaborating with the San Bruno Park School District, where we're bringing our Learning Wheels bookmobile to the students at Bel Air Elementary School to provide story times and distribute free books to the preschool students there. And we're also working to collaborate with the San Bruno Parks and Rec Department and bring Learning Wheels to the new recreation building that's being built. Hopefully we'll begin doing that weekly beginning next year. Our program not only provides free book distributions, but we also provide literacy workshops to families that aim to break cycles of illiteracy in families. And our workshops provide activities that help prepare children ages 0 to 5 for preschool and kindergarten. We also bring in guest speakers that provide parenting strategies and tips to parents. We provide food, and we also provide books from our Learning Wheels bookmobile. I want to say thank you so much for your support. With additional support, we hope to not only continue Learning Wheels presence in San Bruno, but also to expand our Learning Wheels visits and to be able to expand the number of literacy workshops that we provide here. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Karen Cunningham, and tonight I'm representing the San Bruno Lions. And I'd like to thank the Community Foundation for considering our request for a grant. The San Bruno Lions have been in operation for 80 years. And a few of the items that we would like this grant to cover are one, holiday food basket in our community were the children with the greatest need. In the past years,
We've worked closely with the schools to identify which families could use a little more help during the holidays. Each year, the Lions receive a list of families from each principal assisted with screening for reduced or free lunches. The goal and objective is to make sure our student families have enough food for the holidays. The San Bruno has approximately 5% of its residents living in poverty based on a 2020 census data. San Bruno Lions volunteer and assist leading the monthly second harvest food distributions at Bel Air School. We have seen the increase in families receiving groceries from 200 families to 230 in the past couple of months. Inflation hits those at the lowest incomes the hardest. With 2,100 students enrolled at the San Bruno Park School District, approximately 30% of them qualified for reduced lunches in 2020. Based on last year's numbers of 100 families, we are anticipating a 10% increase. We will continue to work closely with the principals to identify those families in need. This program provides help to families as they try to celebrate the holidays. Parents want the best for their children, and this program reduces the stress in the home to provide for their children. The measurement of success is difficult to accurately quantify. When delivering groceries, it can be seen in the faces of the entire family, relief and gratitude, sometimes tears of thanks. Number 2 for this grant is a special Santa Claus experience with a Mr. and Mrs. Claus to a school that I just found out about as I joined the Lions Club a few years ago, and that is at El Portal Special Needs School, which is over there by Commodore Playground. And we provide an entire event for them with Mr. and Mrs. Claus. We provide gift cards to the teachers and approximately 150 of their special needs students. So I just want to thank you very much for this opportunity, and thanks again.
Good evening. My name's Jose Gomez. I am the proud principal of Cappuccino High School. So thank you again. First, I'd like to thank the San Bruno Community Foundation for your ongoing support of Cappuccino High School and our San Bruno students. And also, I'd like to thank the review committee for their hard work to review all these grants that will have a profound impact in our community. I'm a resident here, so I appreciate all the organizations that are here tonight, because I will hopefully see the fruits of that labor in a few years at the high school level. The grant that you are considering for us for Cappuccino High School is regarding the Bridge program. Prior to COVID, the Bridge program really focused around 20 to 30 students, rising ninth graders from Parkside Middle School. And the focus was to build ELA, English skills, and math skills, build them up to ease a transition to high school. As you know, COVID hit, and COVID impacted everybody, especially our students, our young scholars. And for us, we had to figure out a better way to support them. We implemented the Bridge program last year again, but we also had to address the social emotional learning needs of our students as well, not only the academic. Some of the information that we looked at as far as our data indicates that our students lack a sense of belonging at the high school level, and we wanted to make sure we deepen that sense of belonging and start that earlier. Some of the goals we have is to strengthen the sense of belonging for Cappuccino High School students, ease a transition in, build relationships with trusted adults, teachers, a few instructional aides, and also implement wellness and counseling support there to implement social emotional learning curriculum as well. And then the most important thing is build a stronger sense of academic identity. Most of our kids in this program unfortunately have some educational trauma that they've carried their whole life. And we want to make sure that our scholars are prepared and have a strong sense of academic identity that they can achieve, that they will achieve, and that they will graduate as proud Mustangs here at our school. And again, as a resident, I just want to thank all of your work that you're doing for the San Bruno Community Foundation and the support you guys are offering these different organizations. So thanks again.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Carolina Valverde, and I'm from the Mindful Life Project.
Before I go into information about our organization, I also wanted to share some facts. We are a mindfulness-based social emotional learning mental health organization. And we've learned a lot over the past few years since COVID. We know that mental health needs were on the rise prior to COVID, and they've only been exacerbated since. California currently ranks 43rd out of 50 states in providing behavioral, social, and developmental screenings, which are key to identifying early signs of challenges for young people. We've also seen a 61% increase in the rate of self-reported mental health needs amongst California youth. So with that being said, MLP is a program. We have two programs where we have a mindfulness coach that goes directly onto our school campuses and teaches mindfulness to students 5 days a week, 40 hours a week. What that means is every single student on a school campus is receiving mental health programming. With a shortage of teachers and also a shortage of counselors, we know that there is a crisis that our schools are experiencing. With our students spending the majority of their day on school campuses, we want to make sure that we're bringing those services directly to where the students are. So every single student and teacher gets to have one lesson, 25 minutes per week of mindfulness. They learn skills like self-regulation, positive peer relationships, confidence, empathy. And these are skills that then they can take home, because we also have opportunities for their parents to get involved. We offer teacher workshops as well as weekly parent workshops where whole families can come together and understand how do we translate what the students are learning in school in terms of how do we bring mental health, what's happening in school, also home, because we know that what happens in school doesn't stay in school, it also comes into the community. So we want to make sure that we're touching every single person in the community. In addition to that, we also offer a small group program which is targeted towards our highest need students. These students are selected from counselors, teachers, and admin within the school, and they get to participate in a pull-out program twice a week that incorporates expressive arts, yoga, and performing arts such as music and theater. And they get to explore mindfulness through these modalities and understand how to express themselves and process big emotions that they're feeling. We work with TK through 8th grade students, and we're working here in San Bruno in Bel Air and Allen Elementary. We're serving 650 students this year through those programs, and through your support, we'll be able to continue to support those two schools, and we hope to also grow our programs outside of those two schools after this year. Thank you.
Good evening, San Bruno. Good evening, San Bruno Community Foundation Board of Trustees, and Jessica and Leslie. Thank you so much for allowing me a moment to present Art in Action to you. My name is Mary Carbolito. I'm the Executive Director of Art in Action. And first of all, it's nice to see you all in person. We have been honored to receive funding from the San Bruno Community Foundation for 2 years now, and we've only seen you via Zoom. So here we are. Thank you for allowing me to share the impact of your support and to present our proposed plan for the upcoming grant cycle should Art in Action be awarded. For those of you who are not familiar with Art in Action, we are a visual arts education nonprofit serving K through 8th grade children for over 40 years. We believe that arts education, whether it's visual arts or performing arts, has an important role in whole child educational experiences, and there should be equal access to these experiences. And certainly the foundation has helped us do that. Even more now, children are creating art as a means of healthy self-expression, and creating art brings joy. In the 22-23 school year, the foundation helped us bring our programs to 880 San Bruno elementary students at Allen, Bel Air, Portola, and John Muir. And I share with you a comment from one of the teachers. Teacher Gina, who teaches at Allen Elementary School. I have taught at Allen Elementary for 22 years. I currently teach 3rd grade. My students and my fellow coworkers absolutely love incorporating art in Allen, you see what they did there, into our classroom art lessons. I have had parents come into the classroom to teach an art lesson, and I have done many myself. with my students. What I love most about it is that it gives our students a chance to learn about the history of specific styles of art and the many different cultures the art comes from. The lessons allow our students to express themselves, and no one's completed piece looks exactly the same as another student's. The art lessons cross over many different subject areas, such as math, creative writing, social studies, science, and reading. My students feel proud when they walk through the hallway at the schools and can show others their art and what it symbolizes. Art in Allen gets my students talking using academic language when they can explain their art pieces that they have created. I believe this program helps my students be more engaged and expressive in class, especially when I correlate the art lessons to the curriculum we are learning in class. I plan on continuing to use art in Allen because my students love it and I look forward to it. Thank you. We hope to sustain these programs with the proposed grant funding. And I thank you again for the consideration of our grant proposal to continue bringing visual arts education to children in the San Bruno community. Thank you. Good evening. Thank you so much for funding all these nonprofit agencies. I'm Sue DeGree from PARCA, and in the 50s, PARCA was started by parents who refused to institutionalize their children, which was rather common in those days. You weren't even given your child to hold. It was, you were said you could turn your child. That happened to me too, in 1983, would you believe? So my department of PARCA is Family Support Services, which involves advocacy. And San Bruno, we're so happy that you host our, we have here on your site an inclusive daycare center. It's also run summer camps, so before and after school, it's inclusive. That's always been the parents' big thrust, is inclusivity, to treat our children regarding health and regarding education and employment, the whole gamut. So for inclusiveness. And so my department is advocacy, individual advocacy, but also I make it a point to go to many, many meetings, as some of you know, for collaboratives to learn as much as I can, so that when a parent needs help for whatever age level and for whatever issue, whether it's health or education or housing or transportation and employment, and now it's becoming aging because of good health, our population is healthy, but we're at the aging point now, so that's a big one right now. And children with autism, like my son, autism, what's wrong with me? Down syndrome and Alzheimer's is pretty much connected. And I'm happy to say for both Alzheimer's people and Down syndrome, Alzheimer's is now becoming a big deal. It's getting a lot more attention. So I'm really very happy about that. There's a lot going on. So those are the kind of things that I get involved with to make sure that when any parent comes to me or client comes to me for help, I have as much information about whatever topic, and so their whole gamut of their life is involved. And so it's a bittersweet thing coming here because our PARCA Reach was at Crestmore during that fatal day, and we did lose some family members from children there. And what you've done in coming back from that is really, really very, very wonderful and very appreciative. And I do my best for, I'm happy too that I can come here because I compliment you again. You have a recreation activities right down the hallway here. And so I've talked to Jacqueline about, I can be available, not every week, because you do this every Wednesday. Fantastic, San Bruno. I mean, nobody else is doing this. And also at the PARCA Reach, which is on John Muir. So I can be there at any time for parents or individual. Thank you very much.
Good evening. My name is Mabrisa Rodriguez, and I work as a Community Resources Operations Manager at Solisas Dental Health based in San Mateo County. Solisas is grateful for San Bruno Community's foundation support in 2021, 2022, and 2023 for our school-based oral health screening program for children. Thank you so much for allowing us to support our San Bruno kids. In light of recent reports of oral health status in San Mateo County and California in general, Sonrisa seeks funds for direct services to increase dental utilization. Reports show that during the pandemic, most California residents did not go to the dentist. And as we know, that can negatively impact one's oral health and general overall health. Statewide, only 15% of dentists are now accepting Medi-Cal. With your help, Sonrisas will establish and maintain a dental home for 43 low-income adults in San Bruno throughout 143 dental visits by supporting the return for at least 2 visits per year. With a Sonrisas provider, it will include individualized care, care coordination, and patient refund system. Sonrisas will also provide 100% of our patients with individualized, culturally and linguistically appropriate oral health education and advanced health equity by breaking intergenerational cycles of poor oral health. In addition, Sonrisas will personally hand out 143 oral health toolkits to its patients during their visits that are suited to each patient's unique needs. The majority of our access to care patients are immigrants. Funds from the San Bruno Community Foundation will help Sonrisas further improve the oral health status of San Bruno's most vulnerable and at-risk residents. Thank you so much for your time and your help and support.
Good evening, I'm Leah McLaughlin from Skyline College. Okay, just leave it there. And I'm the director of the Bay Area Entrepreneur Center, and I am very grateful for the recommendations to fund a program I've started over the last year called the Accelerate Fellowship. And it's a double benefit program. It helps Skyline students and it also helps local businesses. Our partner Amanda from the Renaissance Center already talked about the need from local business perspective, so I'm going to focus a little bit more bringing the student experience to life and the benefits to Skyline students of this program. So Skyline Community College mostly serves first-generation college students who are coming from low-income backgrounds. And as we all know, it's really hard to break into professional careers without good work experience. A lot of these students have had customer service jobs, but they really haven't had much else that can really help them build their resumes. So this program was developed to give them a higher level of work experience that they can then take and leverage to help them achieve professional careers in the future. And so what happens is that the students get a challenge each semester to support a local business district, a business community. They go out, they interview professional experts, they do market research and talk to and survey potential customers. They learn how to promote and help those local business areas. And then based on all of their exploration as a group, they brainstorm a bunch of ideas of how can we impact this? How can we help this business community? They then develop a few proposals that they pitch, and then a project's decided, and then they implement that. So they are doing all of this themselves. They're the decision makers, and it gives them a lot of great experience going out, communicating with adults, developing ideas, and then bringing them to fruition. And then so far we've developed a website for downtown San Bruno. We're partnering with the Renaissance Center and SSF Chamber of Commerce to provide a dining guide to local hotels. So this funding will help us to pay those students for this experience. It's a paid fellowship, and we'll fund the next 2 cohorts this next year that we can continue to help downtown San Bruno market itself, attract new customers, and help revitalize and help them recover from the pandemic. Thank you so much.
Good evening. My name is David Carducci. I'm the directing attorney for the housing team at the Legal Aid Society of San Mateo County. and like to thank you for your past support of our program. With that support and support of other funding that we've received, we've now grown our housing team to 8 members, 4 attorneys and 4 non-attorney staff. And with that, we serve the people of San Bruno and the people of San Mateo County. Our mission is to prevent homelessness. Our method is to do that is to keep people in their affordable homes. And our mantra is no unjust evictions on our watch. What we do is we enforce tenant protection laws to prevent evictions when we can. And one example is the new law, the Tenant Protection Act 2019 provided support for tenants, caps the rent increases that can be put on tenants in many of their tenancies, and requires good cause to evict them. This is an important law, but it doesn't enforce itself. Agencies like ours are there to enforce these laws and help keep tenants in their home when they should be kept in their home. One San Bruno family came to us just last week with a 60-day notice to terminate their tenancy. The alleged grounds is to substantially remodel the home. That's one grounds that some landlords use to get around the rent cap. And so we will be investigating that. We've successfully defended tenants when we've shown that substantial remodel is not actually the motive for the eviction and been able to keep people in their homes. But that's only a small percentage of the cases that we do. So many of our eviction cases throughout this county, including San Bruno, is just rents are too damn high, and low income people and moderate income families just cannot afford the rents, and they fall behind in the payment of rent, and they find themselves being evicted for not paying their rent. We also have resources to help with that. First, we try to get a settlement that allows the tenant to stay in their home if they can do what we call a pay and stay deal. And so, we're trying to help both the tenant and the landlord in this situation. We also have a significant rental assistance fund that we can use to help bridge the gap and pay off the debt for the tenant. Gets the landlord their payment they've missed out on, and gives the tenant another chance to get back on track when they have the income to pay rent going forward. So with that, with the resources you provided us, we appreciate that, and we'll try to keep doing what we're doing. Thank you.
Okay, we do have a couple online that would like to share, so I'm going to bring them in as panelists. Yannette, I'm going to bring you in first.
Thank you.
If you wanna show yourself on screen. Go ahead and do it.
Buenas noches to all. My name is Janet Gutierrez, and I work for the Catalino Tapia Scholarship Foundation. I am speaking on behalf of Catalino Tapia, our founder, its board of directors, scholars, parents, and future scholarship recipients. 20 years ago, our founder, Don Catalino, never imagined that his idea to support first-generation and low-income scholars from diverse backgrounds in realizing their educational dreams would ever become a reality. But first, just serving one county, now serving Santa Clara, San Mateo, San Francisco counties, and since 2022, Alameda County. At first, our programs consisted only in scholarships. And now we support many in our community with the sponsors like you. Now we offer mentors, stipends, and workshops since 2020. These workshops are not offered to parents, but are also bilingual. Within these workshops, we have included wellness and mental health, which are fundamental for a scholar's well-being and therefore their academic success. Don Catalino wanted to see more scholars obtain a degree and many parents to celebrate what he felt when he saw his son graduate from UC Berkeley Law School. Don Catalino's main concern was, ¿Cómo recaudaré fondos? How will I raise funds? And what if this doesn't work? He feared his mission would never bloom as he wanted it to. But the humble gardener by trade never imagined that a whole community would be walking by his side supporting his mission. With your generous support from the San Bruno Community Foundation, the Catalino Tapia Scholarship Foundation will continue to provide life-changing opportunities for scholars in San Bruno, fostering their growth and academic pursuits through our programs. Your support represents a better future for them and their families through education. But I think, in my personal experience as a scholarship recipient, that funds for college are not just merely funds. The impact of our partnership, your impact of your partnership goes far and beyond of monetary assistance. It empowers our scholars to believe in themselves, pursue their dreams, and become future leaders in our communities. Because of your partnership, dreams do come true. Your partnership is instrumental in shaping a brighter future for scholars in our community. I also would like to thank everyone involved in this process, and thank you for walking by our side, for investing in education, and for contributing to the growth of our future leaders. Together, we are building stronger communities. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We also have Christine online. Christine, feel free to unmute yourself.
Thank you so much. I'm Christine Kovac. I'm the Bereavement Services Manager at Mission Hospice and Home Care in San Mateo. Thanks for having me this way on video, as I had one of my grief support programs that overlapped in time with your meeting this evening. And I'm so glad to be here. Thank you for considering our proposal. Mission Hospice was founded in 1979. We're a nonprofit independent hospice organization that serves terminally ill patients and provides support to their bereaved loved ones throughout the peninsula. We are in the bereavement department ambitious in providing a wide variety of grief support groups, workshops, author talks, and other special support programs that are all free to attend and available not only to the families of our patients, but to the wider community that we serve. Throughout the pandemic, and at the beginning of the pandemic, I should say, we moved all of these programs online. We've been doing Zoom groups and presentations and workshops, art for healing. Even we figured out how to do expressive arts and all kinds of support online. But people are hungry to be back in person with one another. And so we are bringing back more and more of our grief support offerings in person. Part of grief can be for many people a component of loneliness, and while it works well enough online, it's really important for grieving people to be in community, in person with one another to get the support that they need. So by bringing more of our programs directly to the communities that we serve, we want to make an impact locally in person. And so by embedding one of our groups at the San Bruno Senior Center, we're really hoping to impact the already robust following of this beloved senior center. We did a pilot for the last 2 months to see if people were interested, and it really caught on. And so I see we really would like to continue this throughout the next year. The group we propose is open to all, not just those who are regular attendees of the senior center, though we anticipate that most folks who receive our care there will be those who are 60 and older and already attending programs. But the group is open to adults of all ages, and we already have an interest list of those who've heard about the group. I'm so grateful for you all to consider this proposal and allow us to continue to provide support directly in San Bruno.
Thank you. Are there any other recommended grantee representatives on Zoom who would like to speak? If so, please raise your hand on Zoom. we are done.
So I would like to just thank all of you, organizational representatives for sharing this evening. It's helpful and informative to hear from you directly about the programs that you have and the impact that you're having on our San Bruno community. Thank you all for your incredibly important work your organization is doing, especially during this challenging time. Are there any questions from the board? Okay. Are there any questions from the public? Anything online, Leslie?
No.
Okay, it's now the time to vote. Because 2 members of our board have an association with some of the grantees, we will be voting on 3 resolutions to allow those board members to recuse themselves from voting on the 2nd and 3rd sets of grants, which they wish to do so there is no perception of conflict of interest in the public eye. With that said, may I have a motion to adopt the first resolution awarding 23 community grants in the amount of $273,000 as set forth in Exhibit A?
So moved.
Second.
Great. I'll turn it over to Secretary Gomez for a roll call vote.
Board Member Belinda Wong,
Aye.
Board Member Irving Torres. Aye. Board Member Supriya Perry,
Aye. Aye.
thank you. Treasurer Packlin is excused. Secretary Raul Gomez is an aye. Vice President Jim Roy. Aye. And President Melissa Natani Jones.
Aye.
All ayes.
Thank you. Congratulations. Board Member Irving Torres has chosen to recuse himself from the next resolution because of he is a member of the San Bruno Lions Club, which is affiliated with the San Bruno Lions Foundation. Irving, you could please.
Yep.
Kindly exit. But don't go too far. Next, may I have a motion to adopt the second resolution awarding 2 community grants totaling $12,000 to the San Bruno Lions Foundation as set forth in Exhibit B?
So moved. Second.
Great. I'll turn it over to Secretary Gomez for a roll call vote. After the vote, we'll ask Irving to return.
Board Member Belinda Wong,
Aye.
Board Member Irving Torres is recused. Board Member Supriya Perry,
Aye.
Treasurer Packlin is excused. Secretary Raul Gomez is an aye. Vice President Jim Roy. Aye. And President Melissa Natani Jones.
Aye.
All ayes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Welcome back. Board Member Belinda Wong has chosen to recuse herself from the next resolution because she's a regular volunteer at one of the second harvest food distribution sites. Belinda, if you will. Next, may I have a motion to adopt the third resolution awarding the 1 community grant in the amount of $15,000 to Second Harvest of Silicon Valley as set forth in Exhibit C?
So moved. Second.
Okay, I'll go ahead and turn it over to Secretary Gomez for a roll call vote, after which we'll have Belinda return.
The Board Member Belinda Wong is recused. Board Member Irving Torres. Aye. Board Member Supriya Perry,
Aye.
Treasurer Packlin is excused. Secretary Raul Gomez is an aye. Vice President Jim Roy.
Aye.
And President Melissa Natani Jones.
Aye.
All ayes.
Thank you. Well, folks, congratulations to the grant recipients. Thank you for your projects and programs that touch lives of those with San Bruno. We welcome all of our grantees to stay for the rest of the meeting and learn about some of our other initiatives, but we also know that you all are very busy, and so no worries if you need to leave. At this time, we'll take a brief pause before continuing on with the meeting so that those of you who need to leave may do so. Okay, welcome back, everyone. Thank you for that very brief break. We're gonna continue on. We are on item B to receive a report on the San Bruno Recreation and Aquatic Center from the city of San Bruno. On behalf of the Ad Hoc Committee on Recreation and Aquatic Center project, I will give a brief report from the committee. Vice President Rowena and I sit on the city's RAC Advisory Committee, which regularly meets to receive updates from the city on the project. As you know, the foundation is supporting the new San Bruno Recreation Aquatic Center with 8 grants totaling up to $51.5 million to the city of San Bruno. In late October and early November, the foundation made the quarterly RAC grant payment totaling $1.4 million. The foundation has paid out a total of $49.2 million in RAC grant payments and has a balance of up to $2.3 million left to disperse. We have fully dispersed the originally committed $40.5 million for construction. The balance remaining on the grant is the up to $1.5 million for construction contingency if needed. The city will be submitting its next set of RAC grant reports in January, after which the foundation will make payments on the active grants. We have appreciated the regular updates from the city on the project, and we look forward to receiving the latest update tonight. We know the project is a little behind schedule and are eager to hear the latest update on the timeline and budget. A team from the city, including City Manager Alex McIntyre, Community Services Director Travis Carlin, and Project Manager Rod McRae is with us tonight. Rod, if you're taking the lead on the report, the floor is yours. Or not.
Madam Chair, if I may?
Yeah.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Alex McIntyre. I'm the city manager of the city of San Bruno. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get heat in this room. I've sat in there for an hour and a half. It's freezing in here. Anyway, thank you so much. I mean, I know you just did an incredible job handing out $300,000 in community grants, but the biggest grant obviously you've given is for this Recreation and Aquatic Center. And I'm very pleased to be able to continue to make progress on the front with regards to the grant. I'm not sure you have all met Travis Carlin. He's the city's new community services director. I know a handful of you have, but I wanted to introduce him. And he's going to give part of a couple of presentations this evening, but I'm going to start off with Rod McCarry, who you have met before, who is the project manager for the RAC. He's going to walk you through kind of a progress report on where we are. He's going to hand it to Travis, and then we will be available for questions. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Hi, Rod.
Hello. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Alex, for the introduction. Glad to be here, glad to give you an update on the project, on this very important project for the city of San Bruno. It's now progressing toward completion. We typically have our agenda that will cover project information update and give you some photos of what's completed to date. Some overview, high-level schedule, and what's happening the next 30 days and beyond. Some public outreach, and we'll give you update on the change order and project budget, and we'll give you more exciting update on preparation of the opening. That would be Travis to provide that. Begin with the project information update. The project, as you know, started in September 2021. Factoring all the weather delay that we had early this year that reduced our effective days to build the project effectively or efficiently. Factoring all the PG&E that we have some challenges, we are now projected to complete to end of first quarter of 2024. So far, we have about 91% completed today, so we're about 9% to complete the workout. We are making sure we got everything checked off, all the boxes are checked, T's are crossed, I's are dotted. We don't skip a step to get it all done. So you can see the last update we have back in September, the photos. shown on August 30, and then the latest photos showed on November 1st, how much has been completed. So you can compare that. And the next slide shows just the aerial shot, where we at right now. As you can see, the break has been completed. The pool is pretty much completed. We're gonna show you some more photos, close up look at what's going on. We're working everywhere. Chemical room is being done, auditorium, gymnasium, community hall, PG&E work, parking lot, those are all ongoing. Just a close up look on the next slide is the creek. See how it's looking good, this creek nowadays. Now when the grass has been established for a little while, got the bridge deck also been completed, but no one can cross that yet. The next slide is just looking from top view of the project. As you can see, all the roof has been completed, and all the mechanical work on the roof done as well. The next slide is just the north wall. We got is a completed look of the wall. We got the stone veneer finish. You see that brown look there, that's our stone veneer finish. Got all the IPS finish in there as well. Working on the panel installation in progress. See the black panel in there, those are getting done. The next slide is the east wall, just kind of show you what's going on. This the left side of it is pretty much complete. This is something we're working on as well on the east wall. Now we have all the scaffolding removed on this area. The next slide is the just gonna look on the inside of the stair areas, stair railings, stairs and railings are all installed. We got all the glass wool in there also installed. We're now working on the finishes on the stairs and the floors and doing some painting. We're also working on the elevator. Next slide is just another finishes. Inside the small classroom is a sample finish of the bathroom being done. The first floor small classroom room is being done, or restroom. The second floor catering kitchen, as you can see, is done. We're moving the equipment there now as well. The next slide is just to give you an update. The natatorium, this is where we had a lot of difficulty to get it done. As you can see, we're working at the ceiling. We're working also on the both simultaneously. To get it going at the same time. So painting is going on up above, the mechanical being done up above, and the bottom we're working on the tiling of on the pool deck as well. In the gymnasium, we're done painting. We got all the lights pretty much hang, fire sprinklers, basketball backstop, the railing. Started to clear this area, so you can see all that painted. Trying to clear that area for the floor. The next slide is just the look of the mechanical room. One is the electrical room, one is the pool pump room. So those are getting worked on. There's a lot of details that need to get done on those rooms. And the next slide is the chemical room. This is the one that supports the pool. And this is all the chemicals being delivered and getting pumped into the pool area. And the next slide is the outdoor pool. Close-up look of this. We got this wall all around the pool. We just need to get the pool deck. You can see all the tiles also being done. So it looks a lot of work, but it's coming together. PG&E, this is just the look of it. So you can see the red is the electric, the yellow is gas. We've done a lot of work in here that includes from we got a lot of support from Public Works Director, City Manager, all the way to the mayor that really stepped in, give us a hands-on support to get all the some of the schedule moved up. And we did. We have accomplished some of the challenges. See all those completed areas now. We have the trench approved. We have dug the trenches on Crystal Spring as well, waiting for PG&E to drop their gas line, and we're making some connection towards the building. Just a high-level schedule update. As you can see, we just kind of grouped them into 4: community hall, gymnasium, natatorium, and exterior pools, and the site improvement work, of course, to close out. As you can see, the community hall and gymnasium, we continue to work on that, but there are some activities that are dependent to the power, PG&E power. That's going to be done right after that. Similar with the natatorium and exterior. there's a lot of work being done, and there are some activities that would need the permanent power, like elevator, kitchen, whole equipment, fire alarm system. Those are gonna be waiting for the PG&E power to get that done, and that we're looking to go all the way to the first quarter of 2024. Just some photos, some of the focus that we have. We're gonna try and finish this community plaza before the rain comes. We get some papers put in on this. The gymnasium, we're gonna try and use a temporary heater to move the humidifier to get the wood floor in there as soon as we get this clear up. Since we're waiting for the PG&E gas line to be put in. You're gonna see this one, the pool deck is gonna be poured. You can see most of it is ready to be poured. I think we're scheduled to pour tomorrow, so this is gonna look more complete. And also the wall all around the natatorium is gonna be done. And you've seen another close-up look of the exterior wall. Once we got this pool deck in, we got the retaining wall in the pool. You can see the gap between the pool and the wall. We're gonna get that poured, and then you're gonna see fence going up on this as well. Just the overview of looking at from the natatorium, chemical room, the site work. Will be on the natatorium side. You're gonna see the solar panel being installed on the roof the next month or so. Scaffolding will come down. Walls and glass walls will be put in that. And the chemical room will be completed. Landscaping work will begin. Specifically the rotated pavilion area, right there on the right side where the stockpiles of dirt will be. So once we get that cleared, that's where we're gonna begin the rotated pavilion foundation. There's another look on the parking lot. There's a lot of work going on in here. In addition to PG&E work that's happening, we're trying to clear this area as well so we can pave it together with the city parkway. And we are looking to get the traffic signal as well to mobilize and start working. A few things in the public outreach that we continue to work on this project. We update the website regularly. We use a changeable message board to inform people of the closures. Detour signs, we have some challenges on the off ramp there by the senior center, so we're making an adjustment to make sure people see the sign, but they don't go straight to senior center and make a U-turn. I know that's been happening lately, so we're trying to mitigate that. We always have we have always had people in the field represented to look at this, so we're trying to be there last weekend when we get the call. Field contact numbers are all available on all project signs. Daily representative on site. We try to respond on every email and calls right away. So if there's any questions, those orange highlight, that's just letting people know that we have paving still expected to be done. So there'll be some closure on City Parkway. We just need to get that scheduled. Crystal Spring Road closures are going to be taking place because we are accommodating PG&E work on Crystal Spring. Next slide is change order report. We have approved $4 million so far. We have paid $3,730,000. Most of it paid towards the unforeseen and unknown conditions, and about 48% of it to a resolution discrepancy in the design, mainly trying to maintain the design intent, and we have to make changes to meet the design intent. Next slide is the project budget. We are still operating within the approved budget of $62,290,228. We have spent so far $52,927,000. Construction costs spent so far is $46 million. Those are the orange color. Soft costs, there's a budget of $14 million. We still have 27% of that left. As far as the construction contract, which is of construction, their contract now is $47 million, including the change order. They got 9.43% to complete. So that's and the contingency was still operating at $4.945 and $990. We have a balance of $938,000 still to go. That's about 18.97% of contingency to complete and 9.43% for the go. So I think that's still a good balance to have moving forward. We don't foresee asking for more money at this time. Hopefully we don't, if that's all we can go. And at this point, I think, it's time for me to hand the most exciting update to Travis.
Thank you, Rod. Good evening to the board. I just want to talk a little bit about some of the things that we're doing to get ready for the facility opening. I think I mentioned to some of the individuals in the room that I've met before, that I've opened a similar facility in Arizona. And so I'm very excited, and I have some ideas for opening our facility. So we started talking about this project as soon as I came in. I've been having weekly meetings with our deputy director on what's been done and what needs to get done. So we've been building a task list, the two of us. But we just started formalizing a staffing group that will be working at the facility, and just started talking about some of the tasks that we may have missed or things that we need to add to our list, and then started assigning those tasks as well. Some of those things are just creating all the forms that we need, membership forms, liability forms, all the different forms that people would need to fill out. We're working on our policies, revising our rental policy and making sure that that aligns with all of our facilities. And then also working on some standard operating procedures. We are in the midst of hiring a business manager right now, and we're counting on that individual when they come in to really help us to finalize a lot of those different things that we've been working on. We're building memberships, punch passes, and daily passes with our Civic Rec, which is our recreation software that will keep track of all of our programs and all of our memberships at the facility. Obviously, whenever you're working with a membership idea, you always have to make sure that it aligns with what the program can do. So we're working at things like biometrics. Can we do a fingerprint instead of having a membership card to make it easy for folks? So those are some of the things that we're working through right now. We're talking a little bit about logistics for move-in. Obviously, there will be a point in time when staff will be able to come into the facility and start setting the facility up to get ready for public use. We had a meeting just this week about what the council setup might be when we bring the city council over for their city council meetings. And talking about ways that we can really do a dance with our other programming that's happening in the facility, and making sure that we have enough storage and such for everything that's happening. We've been ordering equipment. We have all of the furniture is ordered, and a lot of it is come in already. So we are storing that some in the store or in a warehouse. We're also working on the fitness equipment, and we actually have a item coming to the next city council meeting on the purchase of the fitness equipment that will go on the second level of the facility. And then also working on furnishings and areas for staff. One of the other things that we're definitely working on as well is talking about what type of programming is going to happen in the facility, what type of partnerships can we have with community organizations to accomplish the goals of the facility. So we're working through that with all of our programming staff. Our programming staff are all hired, which is great. So they've been planning and working through things, and then also talking about really having a place for these programs in the facility, but also leading up to the facility so that we can just transition some of our programs over to the facility. We are looking at the opening plan that was created a while back, and just talking about if all the elements of that still work for opening the facility. So we're refining that, and then also looking at the hours and making sure that the hours are going to work for San Bruno residents. The other things that we're working on is processes for procurement of services. Obviously, we may get an influx of individuals who want to come and teach a class there, or do a program there, or partner with us. So we're refining plans for procuring these individuals. Also, we do have a catering kitchen, and we'll have a number of people who will want to rent that space and bring in their caterer. So how do we procure, or how do we plan for that to make sure that they know all the elements of the kitchen and being able to use that? So we have some ideas about how to get all the caterers that are coming through proper training and making sure that they're vetted, come into the facility. One of the other things that we really want to make sure of is to make sure that no one's left out, and that we're talking with our stakeholder groups along the way and involving them at crucial parts of the process. So we're definitely looking forward to working with stakeholder groups and bringing stakeholders in to talk about the different elements. And then also one of the biggest things, the grand opening that will happen at the facility. We're working on recognition and signage. We did get some signage mock-ups, and we also got a mock-up. We also are reviewing a couple mock-ups for the foundation to commemorate the foundation's contribution to the facility. And so we'll be looking at those and bringing those forward to this group and making sure that we're involved in that process of what that's going to look like. And then, of course, we're also working on staffing. As I said, most full-time staff are coming on board right now, are on board or coming on board soon. We're also working on part-time staffing. The one area that I think that we still need to do a little work on as far as part-time staffing is lifeguard staff. We will be training anyone that's interested in becoming a lifeguard at the facility, but there is a nationwide shortage of lifeguards, as some of you may know. And so that's going to be a little bit of a challenge for us, and we'll be working through that as well. The good thing about that is both Damien and I came from aquatics background, so hopefully we can recruit some people and get some excitement behind some videos and such to get people involved. So, next slide, please. We're also working on some marketing ideas for the facility, you know, whether it be pamphlets, brochures, if we're going to do rack cards for the facility, and then also how do we do our online marketing for the facility. So we'll be looking at website updates, how to create some excitement on our website, seeing if we can do some interactive things on our website to get people excited about coming to the center when it opens. We've also been just having discussions about pre-opening membership events and pre-opening things that we can do in order to generate excitement. We started a little bit of grand opening, brainstorming and planning. And again, we want to hear from you. So if you have ideas, I'd love to hear what those ideas are, whether they're tonight or whether you have a conversation with me in the future. I would love to hear what type of ideas that you have as a board and then and an organization, and then also just reaching out to our community groups and seeing what vision they have for some type of grand opening there. We've had discussions about once we're opening, attracting rentals that create excitement in the facility. So if we're able to bring in a rental of like an organization that has a really great presence in the community that brings a lot of people through the door, we're going to try to target some of those groups to see if we can lure them in to utilize the facility and generate excitement there. We also discussed a fly-through video, maybe in the next few weeks, as we're nearing the end of construction, to give people just an inside look at what the facility looks like and will look like. A lot of the things going through the facility just this last week, you're starting to see a lot of things really take shape where you're actually able to visualize the space in the rooms, what's going to be there, and even starting to look at some of the finishings that are in the facilities, the restrooms and the kitchen and such. So that's been very exciting to see that as well. And then we've also talked about at staff move-in, we're probably looking at about 2 to 4 weeks that we'd like to get into the facility, get everything set up and get it ready for the public. And you know, a couple of things that we've talked about as a staff is are there opportunities to really maybe set up an area for like a basketball game, or looking at the fitness equipment and doing some staff interactive type things with the equipment or with the facility and having it narrated by staff, so that we can put it out on social media and really generate interest for people to come in and tell them when we're opening and what's the availability of rooms and all those types of things. So we're excited about doing those types of things. And then one of the things that we came up with this past meeting that we're going to see if we can implement is doing a scavenger hunt with maps. And the way that we're kind of thinking that this would work is that we would basically give the community the map of the facility and do little video clips or doing just little sentences or something like that would go along with it, and the person would stand in a certain part of the center, and then they have to tell us where they're standing and kind of go through all the videos and take that test to see if they can put where we're standing on a blueprint or a map. So we thought that would be quite fun for the community to do as well. And I think both Rod and I are available for questions if you have any questions on either the construction side or opening side, or if you have any comments.
Any questions from Rod?
To the chair, thank you for the presentation. I have 2 questions. One is for the construction, and one's for the kind of the internal kind of like activities and marketing part. Is there a specific projected timeline of when this it's all going to be completed, and like, it said, because I was a bit confused by the schedule, it said Q2 and Q1, so could you just clarify that?
We're looking at the first quarter of 2024 to deliver the project, could be later 2024, could be sooner, or could be past that. That's what we're projecting.
Great, thank you. And then my second question is more towards like, it's just, when you were talking about just marketing, how to like get people to like know about this new kind of recreational product center. It'd be great to maybe somehow partner with like Samcast to give opportunities for folks who may not have the accessibility to get to the site, because I know, like, for example, like my dad lives on Fifth Avenue. I know that would take some distance to get there, but if there's some type of promotional opportunity to either give him the opportunity to like, you know, be able to get like a carpool ride or something like that. I just imagine there's members of the community that may not have a family member like myself that can give my dad a ride, but may not have the accessibility. So if there's any way to promote that accessibility, I think that'll help to get more people to come to the site.
I have a couple of very technical questions. The first is, you mentioned solar panels. I was just curious if the facility will actually be able to generate its own electricity once we're fully operating.
Yeah, so the building is solar ready, and we already have the Peninsula Clean Energy to provide us the solar panel energy, and that solar panel will create about 33% of the power that we needed, and there will be some savings on that.
Awesome. The second question I had is actually related in the transportation. What was, did someone do an analysis on whether we're gonna have the same amount of parking? What's the projection on whether the access, or is there plans for shuttles so that we can get easy access once the facility is open?
I might be correct, I may be wrong on this, but there were some, the project is designed with the number of spaces projected with the usage. That's why we have the traffic signal as one of those things that was implemented as part of the condition to get the project approved. So the number of spaces is part of the condition to get the project built. So that's all being accomplished.
Is it close to or over what we used to have in terms of the parking? Because I know the parking was.
I believe it's over than what we used to, because we have more square footage.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Yeah.
I want to thank you both for your presentations, very thorough and exciting to see some of the almost near final renderings of, again, the rack. But one comment I'm going to make is seeing the Diamond 3 and the pool, just going to say on record that it seems like it's really super close, and I know my son would be able to easily hit a ball from the Diamond 3 into the pool, so just something to consider. And for Travis, your portion of the presentation, a couple things I can say is that for recruitment of a lifeguard, might want to consider Cappuccino High or Skyline. I think that those would be two great places to actually start looking towards, again, recruiting lifeguards that are into aquatics or other and really need money. That's a perfect place for Skyline, I would say, or even Cappuccino. And then also for timing, it looks like the finalization of the rack might dovetail perfectly into Community Day, which is our first Sunday in June. So maybe this might be a great opportunity for us to have an open house for the rack and have people actually come and walk through and see at the end of the closing parade and have our Community Day at the park. So something to consider.
Thank you, Secretary Gomez. We have reached out to Cappuccino, and we actually had staff that went out to their water polo matches and talked with some of their swimmers, and we have recruited a couple of people from that. So we're gonna go back and round that out as well. But that was definitely one place that we went. And I'll talk a little bit about Community Day in a future presentation.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Okay. Mr. Priya, do you have a question? No?
I do not.
Thank you. Any questions from the public?
No.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for the report. We're really, really, really excited. And I love a good party, so Travis, we're gonna have a conversation about what that looks like at our next meeting. Okay, so that was a report, so there's no action to be taken. I'm gonna move on to item C, receive reports on the Centennial Plaza Improvement Project in the city of San Bruno. In November of 2022, the SBCF board approved a $500,000 grant to the city of San Bruno to the city to support the Centennial Plaza Improvement Project. This park renovation project is downtown San Bruno is one we are all anxiously awaiting. Payment of the grant is contingent on the city council approving sufficient additional funding for the full amount of the project cost, including construction costs, above the amount of the foundation's $500,000 grant. So the project is fully funded. As Executive Director Hadmia noted in her staff memo, the first two grant payments in August and November were made prematurely as the project timeline has been extended and the city council has not yet approved a construction contract and the additional funding to complete the project. The city has been notified that no additional grant payments will be dispersed until the project budget is finalized and the council approves the funding. I'd like to welcome Community Services Director Travis again to give the update on the Centennial Plaza project, including the project budget and timeline.
Thank you, President Attorney Jones. Yes, I'm here to talk a little bit about the Centennial Plaza improvements, and so I'm going to go through to the next slide. From 2021 to 2023, plans were being developed by an agency named Calendar Associates. I arrived to the city at the end of September 2023, and Tim Wallace was keeping this project afloat. He's our superintendent, and he was working with the designer to get to 95% of the bid sets. In October of 2023, we received the final bid documents for the project, and we reviewed those bid sets with our engineering group. The goals identified as part of this project were to provide an intimate entertainment venue, create areas for people to sit and dine or have a cup of coffee, creative passive play areas, and flexible areas for programs and events. In November 2022, the foundation approved a $500,000 grant for this project. As of October 2023, the city has spent about $195,000 in design services and engineer reviews. The December unencumbered balance for this project is $813,323, which includes the foundation grant. On November 22nd, 2023, we advertised the invitation to bid and the RFP went out. The base bid estimate for this project is $662,477, and then the bid alternates are $117,860, and there are 4 of them. The bid alternates are festoon lighting. Alternate 2 is a drinking fountain and water filler. Alternate 3 is the trellis, and then alternate 4 is the concrete tube. The total bid estimates with the alternates is $780,337. And then the design firm that we're working with, Calendar and Associates, is suggesting that we would include a 10% contingency for the project. On December 1st, we held our mandatory pre-bid meeting via Zoom. I was very excited to see that we had 12 contractors show up for that bid meeting, so that's great. And so I'm going to move on to the next slide. The project's next steps are on December 15th, we will end our question and answer period for the contractors who are bidding the project, and then we'll be providing them an addendum by the end of the day on Monday, December 18th, so that they can move forward with their bidding. On January 2nd, we'll be doing a bid opening in room 115 at City Hall. And then on January 23rd, that is our tentative date to bring this forward to the City Council for consideration of award of bid. On February 24th, we'll be finalizing the contract and giving a good outcome to the council meeting, and we will be giving the notice to proceed. And then we anticipate that we'd be starting this project, or actual construction on this project, sometime in March. And that project is slated to take about 165 calendar days. And so we're looking at a project completion of approximately September or October of 2024. I'm available for any questions on this one.
Are there any questions from the board? Sabrina, any questions? Okay. Anything from the public?
No questions from the public.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Travis. Thank you. You may want to just stay right there. We're gonna move on to item D, receive report on planning for Community Day from the city of San Bruno. In November 2022, the board approved a $30,000 grant to the city of San Bruno to support the 2023 Community Day. The city originally planned to host the event on the first Sunday in June, immediately following the San Bruno Lions Club Posey Parade along San Mateo Avenue, building on the 2022 format and continuing as a street festival celebration and celebrating the cultural diversity of San Bruno. The city ended up not holding Community Day in June and decided not to reschedule the event in 2023. The foundation and the city agreed to terminate the grant agreement for the 2023 Community Day grant, executing a termination letter in early November. Once the city solidifies its plans for a Community Day event in 2024, it may submit to the foundation proposal requesting grant funding, which would then go before the SBCF board for approval. I'd like to welcome again Travis to give us a brief update on the progress of the Community Day event for 2020.
Thank you again, President Natani Jones and the board. So I'm going to start out with the next slide. Community Day started in 2014. In 2022, the event was held, as you mentioned, on San Mateo Avenue in conjunction with the Posey Parade. In 2023, the event was postponed due to staff resources and the preparation and getting ready for the rack. Next slide, please. Staff are having discussions about future models for the event, which include pairing the event with the grand opening of the rack. So that is one option that we're looking at. We're also looking at coordinating this event again with the Posey Parade in June, and they have submitted an application for the Posey Parade already. And then we've also discussed the opportunity to have a standalone event in the fall of 2024. So we're working through and talking through some of those options. We're also discussing possible locations, and those are keeping the event downtown. That could include partnerships with businesses on San Mateo Avenue. We're also talking a little bit about holding the event at the rack or at City Park. And I just wanted to mention that one of the major goals of the individuals that are involved with our events is that they really want to make sure that we're doing a diverse and equitable event that represents San Bruno for the next program. So that's one thing that we definitely want to commit to. And I'm here to answer any questions about that.
Are there any questions from the board?
Thank you for the update. Do you have a plan on when you would get to the kind of that next proposal or next set of ideas?
Sure. I think one of the things that will drive that is really looking at when the rack will be opening and when we'll be doing that grand opening, and then having a discussion about whether it fits to do that simultaneously, and then that will guide us in if we're going to do it as part of the rack opening or if we're going to do it as a separate event, and then how we move forward with that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any
Through the
other?
chair?
Oh, yes, go ahead.
You mentioned that there were that it was some staffing issues. Is there a sense that those will be alleviated in the coming months, given everything that's going on? And is there a thought to, scaling one way or the other to have the event still, but perhaps not have it as, maybe not as big or far reaching, but still to continue sort of the tradition of it?
We have moved forward and we have hired a number of staff. We still have a couple of vacancies that we're working to fill and get posted in the next few weeks. So it will really be contingent on that, but I feel that we have the staffing levels now that we'd be able to support an event for next year, especially if it's in June or if it's in the fall, that will be no problem. But I really want to continue to have the discussion with leadership team and then also my team on what makes the most sense on, when we have it, or if it's paired with the rack opening.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions from the public?
No questions from the public.
Okay. Thank you so much, Travis, for the report. Thank you also Alex for being here and Rod. We're going to, okay. No, you guys can't leave. I'm just kidding. We will move on to item E, receive report on other programs, Crestmore Scholarship and other strategic grants. I'll turn the time over to Leslie.
Thank you. We are running very late, so I'm gonna keep this brief. Thank you. I have a written report in the packet. I just want to highlight, the Crestmore Scholarship to you. We are ready to launch that hopefully at the end of this week. I passed out and there are on the back table, the marketing materials that are going out. We'll be sending those to high schools and community colleges in the area as well as posting them around town. We have not made any significant changes to the program this year. It's running very similar to what we've done the past 8 years. Believe it or not, this is the 9th year of the program. Seems like we just started it, but yet it's almost been a decade. The one thing we will continue to try is to recruit more applicants for both the community college pool and the high school pool going to community college, which are two pools that we always have to really work to get a robust applicant pool. Jessica is scheduling both in-person and virtual scholarship workshops to answer questions about how to apply. Those will take place in January and February, and the application deadline will be Tuesday, March 5th at 5 p.m. Following our typical timeline. And that's my report.
Any questions? Any questions from the public?
No questions from the public.
Thank you. Next item, receive report from Investment Committee on its November 15th regular meeting. Treasurer Pac Lin is the chair of the Investment Committee. In her absence, Board Member Wong serves on the Investment Committee and will provide the report. So I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. I will try to keep this brief as well. So the committee meeting, the investment committee meeting was held on November 15th. There were two topics of business on the agenda. The first was a report from the Sandhill Global Advisors regarding the outlook, the general investment outlook, as well as a report on our investments for portfolio performance. Just a few highlights from Sandhill CEO Brian Domkowski's report of the investment outlook is that he noted that it was uncommon to see both stocks and bonds fall in the same time during early part of this year, but that the fears of recessions have abated, interest rates appears to have peaked, and that in 2024, growth is expected to normalize around 2% level for the investments. In terms of our investment accounts, as of September 30th, the balances in the accounts is 20.46 million in our quasi endowments, 5.6 million for the strategic pool, and 4.4 million for the liquidity pool, for approximate total of 30.4 million. As of Friday, December 1st, the total in the account was just under 30.2 million, which partially reflects the transfer of the 1.5 million construction contingency to the liquidity pool in order to pay out for the most recent quarterly RAC grant. When you take that into account, you'll see that the portfolio has actually appreciated in the last 2 months. The second item on the committee was to discuss the cash flows needed to the RAC. Executive Director reported that the remaining balance of the RAC payments of 2.3, of which 1.5 is the additional amount for the construction contingency, And then all remaining funds committed to the RAC grants have been transferred to you. Our next meeting is on February 21st. And that concludes the report. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions from the board? No? Any questions from the public?
No. Okay.
Okay, great. Now to item number 8, board member comments. Would any board members like to make a comment at this time?
I know it's late, but I just want to say thank you to Jessica and everybody for the grants program. I know it was a lot of work, a heavy lift, but it always is one of my favorite meetings every year, so thank you.
Yeah, I sat on one of those committees before and it's pretty tough, pretty tough. You really have some very good applicants. A lot of work.
Yeah, and I just want to underscore what the other board members have said. Thank you for the heavy lift. Thank you for all of the coordination and organization. We weren't able to fund everyone. And so I just appreciate the fact that we were able to help those that were in tonight. So thank you and happy holidays to everyone.
Yes.
As we get in further into the end of this year and we look forward to the new year. Just want to wish everyone a very happy holiday. Hey, item number 9, adjourn. May I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? So moved.
Second.
So much excitement. Okay, we are adjourned. Our next regular meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, January 3rd, 2024, at 7 p.m. There is a chance that this meeting will be canceled if there are no pressing businesses to conduct. But we'll let you know. Thank you, everyone.
Happy holidays. See you in 2024.
See you next year.